understanding seem to have lost their meaning. There's only power mankind seeking. The world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes, like man only interested in causing destruction. Look at the massacre that took place in Lebanon. Yes, it's plain to see it is a hopeless situation. Most of the world leaders don't try to come together, the world could plunge into disaster. Today's headlines are shocking, thousands and thousands dying, like World War III is in the making. The world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes, like man only interested in causing destruction. Today's inflation, yes, it's plain to see it is a hopeless situation.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Calypso Showcase. And with that introduction, you'll know that our special guest tonight is the man King Austin, Austin Lewis. And King Austin, welcome to Calypso Showcase.
Thank you, Alvin.
Well, besides singing Calypso, what else do you do for a living?
Well, I usually work with the URP for a couple of years. Well, I worked there for 18 years as a checker. By that time, there was late and due and all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I work with the URP for a few months.
I also understand that you sometimes drive a taxi, is that true?
Yeah, but I sold the taxi.
Oh, you sold it?
Yeah.
So now you're working strictly with URP.
Yeah.
Tell me something, if you had to assess the Calypso of the last season, how would you assess it compared to, say, former years?
You mean on my...
Your own personal reaction to the Calypsos that came down for 1995, how would you rate them?
Well, the Calypsos these days, you know, tongue says only wine and jam.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not my style of songs and all that. But people still like them. But they get some very nice, because if you listen to the lyrics of some always wine and still is nice songs.
Who are some of the Calypsonians you have admired over the years?
These
Calypsonians,
fellas, yeah. I admire Shorty Eye, Explainer, the mighty sparrow most of all, Gypsy. A few of them well. And I really love them and I admire them.
In your career, have you ever had the opportunity of traveling outside of Trinidad?
Yes, I travel a lot. I went to New York about 40 to 50 times.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Well, sometimes it's very nice, and I, as a fella accustomed to home, I miss home and all of that, but it was all right, because I was there with most of the other singers. We stayed together. We traveled all down Manhattan, down Broadway and all that together, and different states, and so, you know, I feel happy, but at night time I feel kind of uncomfortable because I like to be home.
Of all the places you have traveled, where do you find the best audience outside of Trinidad?
The Barbados. I enjoy myself in Barbados the most. Well, I went to Guyana also. Well, I enjoy myself in almost all the places, you know, because I used to go with Sparrow.
How do you introduce a youth to Calypso today? If you had to give some advice to the young Calypsonians coming to the business, what would you tell them?
Well, I tell them, follow me.
Follow you?
Yeah, follow me.
Some people make the comment, and, you know, perhaps in your case, many of the calypsos you have sung were composed by other people. Some of your calypsos were composed by you.
Yeah.
How do you feel any less calypsonian?
No.
And what is your response to people who say that a calypsonian should write his own calypsos?
Well, they just feel like talking because all around the world, people sing other people's songs. And I might write a song, but I think that I mightn't get the response from that song as a song I would take from Devine, because he's a champion writer. And whenever he put on lyrics, and he said, this is lyrics, that is lyrics.
So you feel just as much a calypsonian as anybody else?
And better too.
Have you always sung only calypso, or have you ever sung any type of other tunes?
Well, I sing all kind of songs. Brook Benton, Pussy Sledge,
You don't look like
Swamp
the type
Dog.
of person who would sing
Yeah,
that.
man. I could sing one for you now and all.
Well, if you want to.
Yeah. You make me laugh, Alvin. Yeah, I'm going to sing a little piece of a song here for you. I sing a song like, higher than the highest mountain, and deeper than the deep blue sea. That's how I will love you, oh darling, endlessly. See?
Well, the next time you're in concert, you'll have to sing a ballad for us, because
Yeah, I would like to do that.
yeah, I hope some of the producers outside are watching the show and
Yeah.
take that in notice of that. Well, as usual, we want to show you the life and the work of King Austin, a man who had a 4-year span that is unequaled in the calypso world. All right, we want to start at the very beginning. What's your earliest recollection of any association with calypso at all?
Well, my first point I record and I mean singing calypso and things since I was a little fella really, but I never really get into it because like when I go to sing, well, maybe when what I was singing was foolishness because they never pay attention to me until I stopped singing all entirely. 15 years I keep away from singing until Lord Blakey came to Laventille and hear me sing with a guitar and say, boy, look, I taken it at 10 this year. That was since 1976. And took me to the CDC Calypso 10, where they said that I was the best thing. They had the new final this season.
What song did you sing that year?
Well, that year I sang a song they call City Crowd by Frederick Street Corner. That was written by Maestro.
Can you sing it?
Yeah. I sing that song.
Let me hear a little bit of it.
City Crowd by Frederick Street Corner, right where the band go in the savannah. Biddy boop, biddy bop, kick off boot and slap. Everybody rushing to know how we beating up the girl so. She husband left she by Holiday Inn. When he catch up with her, she was making bacchanal for the carnival. She was playing jam with a Iron Man in the band. That is a verse of the song.
Very good. And you could hear the maestro lilt in it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about how your career developed from there.
Well, from there, the next year, well, when Blakey first came to say he was taking me to the tent, like no tent nothing wasn't really happening. So I went across by Chuck, that's on Brother Superior, in a tent they had by the port services there. And they take me there also. Then Blakey come and tell me, well, boy, the thing really happening and you have to come. I said, I don't get in down so already. He said, well, if you can't come and take back my calypso. I said, boy, how you go do that? You know, Blakey's a noisy fella. But I love him, right? I said, well, all right. I went and tell them that I can't come, and I went to the CC tent. The next day I went back by Chuck, that's her name, and Superior, and they put me to sing. Well, they didn't really want me to sing again because they say I'm a fooler, you know? Then I have a friend called Thompson Pile, and Pile agreed and called with compose and put him on, he good. So they tell the audience at night, we have a fella here, he bring a friend with him and the friend call me free to sing. So we put him on. And if he sing good, we'll keep him. And if he don't sing good, we don't want him. So they put me on. And that was the mistake they make. I sing this song. Juve morning, I wake up in time to hear solo beating. Juve morning, I wake up in time to hear solo beating. I didn't know the name of the tune they playing. But when my brother you're talking about sweet tuning, your music is concerned, I was so amazed. The chords coming from the bass, they going with him, tim, tim, tom. Totten with him, tim, tim, tom. Totten with him, tim, tim, tom. With him, tim, tim, tom. I didn't know what's called they pulling so. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They're touching every note on the bass and they beating with this if you hear sweet music in the place. From solo harmonic, Juve morning. Well, they say, well, the crowd started to squeal so much. The brother superior left me off the stage. And he said, boy, we have to keep pace. So I started going from there.
Well, to most people, 1980 and the tune Progress was, when King Austin really stepped out in the big lights.
Yeah.
Now, what I remember is that there was a recording made, and your record, your single tune helped the entire record, which was produced at Semp Studios to sell. But more than that, the very first night you stepped on a stage to sing that tune, you actually didn't finish the song. I want you to relive that night for me.
The song Progress, you mean, eh?
Yes.
Well, I wasn't so familiar with the song and all of that, but I know it was a great song. I know it was a hit. So I come out and I did the best of it because I used to frighten too a little bit, And when I sing this song the first night, nobody didn't encore or nothing. But I wasn't frightened and all that because I know in 3 days' time, the first 2-3 nights that come as a rehearsal for me. And after that, I could mash up fellas.
Now, we've heard all sorts of stories about how you got this song Progress from Winsford Devine and whatnot. What's the truth in terms of the birth of the song Progress?
Well, Winsford Devine, we call him Joker, He came to sing that song in the year 1979 by Sparrow, Calypso 10. And he sing it. That is for an audition. When he finished singing it, they tell him, they didn't take him on so, because maybe they didn't like the song. But when I hear it, I went home and I tell my family, I heard a song today. It's the greatest song I ever hear. But me and he started dealing in the same year, which is 1979. So when I went by him, I tell him to give me that song. And I would make the whole place stand at attention.
Yeah. When I look around in the world, what do I see? I see footprints that man have left on the sand while walking through times. I see fruits of our ambitions, figments of our imaginations. And I ask myself, when will it end? When will it end? It is plain to see, universally this land is not bountiful as it was, simply because in his quest for success, nothing stands in man's way. All rivers run dry. Soon the birds will fly, the mountains will be no longer high. And when I really think of it, I just wonder why.
When I come to sing. And I'm not studying who coming to sing or who sing before and all of that. So I just sing my song the way I should sing it. And while singing, a strong breeze came, blew my hat off, right? But I didn't willfully go to pick up the hat because I want to do that thing. That is just my style, how I grew up and so. And my fella does anything. So I just get back on one foot, pick up the hat, and put it back on my head.
And environmental warfare And I wonder now, where do we go from here? Prophets everywhere gaze upon the horizon and declare that judgment will come as the savage hands of unscrupulous men file everything pass by. Time is running out as we eat and drink, species at the brink of being extinct. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high.
When one has a tune like Progress, any second tune would sound weak compared to it. What you want me to do, nobody seems to remember that was even your second tune. Tell me about that.
Yeah, what you want me to do is a song that I like it when I hear it by Joker, Winsford. But I never sing it before. They never hear it before. It's not on the record, but the lyrics were so good. I say I think it's a powerful song. But maybe they couldn't catch the words as it was flowing so fast, but they never heard it before. But if it was recorded and they hear it, it could have been dangerous.
You have filled my eyes with tears of misery, with your dreadful eyes. You erase my history because you on top, you keeping me down, and now I'm getting up. You find that is wrong. But if it is your will that I must not climb the hill, that my cup stay empty still, what you want me do? 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 If you have the world so tight that I have to fuss and fight in order to get a bite, what you want me do? 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 Where you want me? Where you want me? Where you want me do? What 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 you want me do?
Second place in Dimanche Gras, almost the Monarch. How did you feel about the result?
Well, I doesn't feel no how about results, When I go in a competition and so, whatever they say, I come, I accept it, and it's all right with me. Could be last and all, but I just love my business, my thing. So it's nothing with me. I appreciate coming second just like if I win. Yeah.
Well, the following year, to follow up Progress with a tune like The Guardians, I think that was really classic. And, if one had to choose between The Guardians and Progress, there are many who would go either way.
Yeah.
The Guardians, how did you go back to the Veins and get a tune like that?
Well, I just tell him, well, he know my style, and he know my melody and all of that. So I tell him, look, I want a great song again. He said, I have it here. The Guardian. I said, well, bring The Guardian. Let me guard them. And I lay it on them.
Within every system, there are rules and laws, and those who enforce them, obviously because faith in the hierarchy is non-significant. So we find it necessary and highly important to gather our civil rights and surround this world with a few people that night to have full control. If it is we fear to trust and guardians be to protect us, question for the bad. Who are to guard these guards? The armies, navies and air forces, the KGBs and the petty bosses, CIAs and Scotland Yard. Who are to guard these guards? The chiefs of security must be in a quandary. This question is the hardest of hearts. Who are to guard these guards?
When Devines wrote that song, he must have done a lot of research. And when he threw words at you like the espionage Calahards, the Casa of the Cards, how did you come to terms with this set of lyrics?
Well, I just take time
to cram them in my computer. Because my computer could take anything, but I have to take time with it, And I love these kind of lyrics. When I play these lyrics out, I just feel so happy because I'm a lyrical man.
Guardians of the cities, guardians of the air, guardians over land and seas, here and everywhere. Just like the steady beat of a metronome, we have become quite obsessed with the militant syndrome. To attain dependencies, we have conjured up a chain of ascendancy, reaching to the top. If it is this whole charade, depends upon rank and grade. Question for the lads, who are the guardians? The administrators of state defense, the men heads of intelligence, the espionage heads. Who are the guardians? Shall it be the gorillas, the religious ministers, or the professors from Harvard? Who are the guardians?
The flip side of that too, keep it coming. Talk about that.
Keep it coming. Well, when you have these songs and I go by and I play, I say I'll take this, or I'll take that. Sometimes I take a wrong thing, but most times I take the right thing. Keep It Coming is a wonderful song. Yeah, a wonderful song. I love it. Because I played it a day last week to give a friend. I went and get a tape to give a friend to carry it along London, who left here 40 years now. And when I play these things for me, laugh and he feels so happy, put it cassette in his shirt pocket. He ain't putting it down at all. Keep It Coming is a wonderful party song. I have to start singing it now.
It was a last lap party in the carnival city. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Everything was alright, suddenly it was midnight. Keep it coming, keep it coming. DJ Dynamite from Harlem, get up on the PA system, announcing the last Calypso, but the crowd say no. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Mr. Music Man, I beg you don't stop this jam. Keep it coming, keep it coming. The woman in black shirt and she wears the man in the back picking on the bass. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Pick another drink to warm up the bones, to hold back the tone from them saxophone. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Give me a party, now you so party. Keep it coming, keep it coming.
I starting to sing these songs now, song like Soca Taking Over. You can't please everybody. You remember that one?
We're going to talk about that 2 years later. But let's talk about the following year, 1982. Time Is Not Easy and Pan for Williams, which only carried you as far as the semi-finals, but which I thought was also a good double. Let's talk about each tune.
Time Is Not Easy in the City is another great lyrical song. Lyrics to bone. And I choose it because I know it could make. And if people been hearing it, or the record was done properly, all know so they have been talking about that song too. Because it tell you about the mugger in the alley waiting to dash up in a flash and take all your cash. The man with the Bible searching for truth, the man with the gun, he come out to shoot. You see? It have great lyrics telling you every possible thing that going on in the city.
Infringement, castles on the pavement, loud echoes of disenchantment, parade as entertainment, crime and punishment, lack of every sentiment, appointment and disappointment, ill treatment and the presentment. Is not easy in the city. The man with the Bible searching for truth, the man with the gun come out to shoot. You think it easy, you think it easy. The mugger in the alley waiting to dash up in a flash and take all your cash. You think it easy? Hey, you think it easy? Time is not easy. Hey, in the city. Hey.
Pan for William.
Well, at the time, Dr. William, had loved me a lot. All in 80 used to talk about me and all of these things. And then he come and pass away. So we pay my little tribute with a song, Pan for William.
Lying one day, dreaming, sweet pan, sweet pan, sweet pan, high, high, pan, low, 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 pan, playing tribute to a man. And everywhere you hear the beat, it's sweet, it gave variety. Every tenor pan, every second pan, oh, creating harmony. The man on the bass playing a mass in memoriam. Hey, when the steel man start to jump for Eric Williams, go.
And your career had a resurgence the following year because you had been in the finals in 80 and 81. You just made the semis, but back in the finals again in 1983 with your big song, The World Today, one of my personal favorites.
Yeah. So, well, people class this song just like Progress and the Gods, That song was written by Merchant, but the lyrics was so weak. When I went to America to do my recording, we had to change almost the whole song. So I sit down with a friend and we changed everything and we put a last verse also. But Merchant say it's not true, but that is the truth. We changed the whole complete song. And there it was, with the help of Ralston Charles. Charlie's a man helped to put in some music. He directs some music and he make it sweet. And it was a hit also.
The finger on the button, and Lord knows what will happen. Is the whole universe they threaten? Maybe they don't remember the bomb in Hiroshima. In history, it's the worst disaster. That's why the world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yeah. Like man only interested in causing destruction. In the Falkland, Argentina, and Great Britain, yes. They came to blows over a barren sheep island. Oh, ay, 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 ay. Donkey, 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 donkey. The United Nations in these volatile situations while discussing peace among nations. They cannot find a solution. We speed into destruction while there's no peace on the horizon. That's why the world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes. Like man only interested in causing destruction. Like power only comes out of the barrel of a gun, yes. It's plain to see it is a hopeless situation. Oh!
Well, that time I was becoming more professional in the art as I getting more custom and all of that. So I know how to perform these songs all in Savannah better.
And the following song, which you alluded to a little bit earlier, about judging. And you know, most Calypsonians at sometimes sing a Calypso about the judges, but they always choose it from the point of view of criticizing the judges. Yeah. Your Calypso now was actually in defense of the judges. Yes. Again, what else? You know, you can't please all the people. Yes. Talk about the concept of that Calypso and how it came to be.
Well, people been talking, tongue say then, that in the Savannah in 1980, Austin win out everything. But I never say that. So they're telling me this thing up in every street, so I had to bring this song for them. You can't please everybody. If you give explainer, they say rub the scrunter. If you give the Stalin, they say rub the penguin. And the real thing people can't understand. Well, I say Panorama can only have one champion and all these things because I have it mixed up now, you know. And well, people love it and say it's a true song and it's a champion song because it's really a true song.
My uncle, his name is Bobby. He is an official judge with CDC. He came one morning early. He said, King, I just quit the job with CDC. I said, why, Uncle Bob? He said, boy, I afraid that job. And I will tell you why, because the public never satisfied. Cause if I give explainer, they say I rob this fronter. If I give the blue boy, they say I'm trying to destroy. If I give the penguin, they say I rob the Stalin. And the public can't understand the real thing. CDC only one king. Ask the Almighty to judge for CDC. Another thing I cannot understand. When you see the North stand like a band, they just don't care anything. When they decide that band must win. But in this competition, everybody have their fun. So Austin, you see, Uncle can't please everybody. Cause if I get Desperado, they say I rob Tokyo. If I get Sandberry, they say I thief Cataly. If I give panhandlers, they say I'm a old Highlanders. And the rest in the public can't understand. Panorama can only have one champion. Go and bring Jaja to judge the Panorama. Yeah.
When you hear they say a fella win, sometimes he really win. But sometimes because that fella is your friend, they say no, this fella win. So that's how I really bring that song to sing. That song was written by me, and I also let Muchan give me a little help with it too.
What do you think is the special quality that King Austin has that no other Calypsonian has in putting over a song?
I don't know, boy. The only thing I know that is how I born. I'm putting over my thing for myself. That's my own thing.
After 1984, King Austin seemed to be out of the limelight in terms of the competition, in terms of the material. We heard tunes like Soca taking over and so on, and one or two others. What happened after 84? 83?
Well, after 84, I've been making records up to now. And I make the record just ready to release and so. And they just stayed there. They just couldn't come out. I don't know what was going on. Everything just come tumbling down, you know? But I'm still here, strong, alive and kicking, and would be able to do it again.
Chetri don't have no money. The world have a recession. Vagrants patrolling the city, and cocaine is an obsession. The youths can't get no employment, so they're killing one another. And it's rampant homo involvement right across the social strata. Little children getting on vulgar, emulating bourgeois and patra. Politicians living in grandeur, in fancy house and nice motorcar. And we singing sweet, sweet Trinidad. Don't care what, oh, we love you, brother. Sweet, sweet Trinidad. You make us proud and you make us glad.
You rest sweet down on a social fad, but we still feel you are the hardest hard. We nibble string in a steel barnyard, and who say you dread have to be mad. Ba-de, ba-da-da-de, oh. Criminals gone off on a rampage with some heinous and brutal acts, while the taxman taking advantage with direct and indirect tax. Now it's carnal knowledge and incest, battered women and child abuse, civilian rebellion and unrest, killers cheating, the hangman's loose, Indians crying discrimination, black man fighting emancipation, white man preaching abomination, woman fighting for abortion, and we singing sweet, sweet Trinidad. Don't care what, how we love you bad. Sweet, sweet Trinidad. You make us proud and you make us glad. You rest sweet down on a soca fad, but we still feel you are the hardest hard. We nibble string in a steel barnyard, and who say you dread have to be mad.
What's been your best moment?
Well, my best moment was 1988 Progress, because I used to admire the mighty sparrow who liked me, who loved me so much, would come and sit down and watch me. Say, yes, Austin. He went to the radio station and tell them I have a new singer here. They call him King Austin, but I call him Sugar Throat. He's dangerous, you know? Yeah, that was my best moment, man. The whole tongue just saying, Austin. Make me happy, you know?
And what's been your lowest moment?
Well, my lowest moment is, at one time I went to sing in a cinema in Tenapuna, and well, that time my name was Sweet Snow Cone. And when I sing, I didn't go down well, and a fella tell me how the snow cone melt. You know? So, well, I laughed to her because that is Calypso. So that helped me to bring me stronger, to have a good moment.
Where do you think King Austin is going?
Well, King Austin will be back on the charts soon again. I see consciousness a bit as today live recklessly. Money make he goes inflate and thereby create a turbulent state. I see a struggle between the sexes, new hang-ups and old complexes. Now the question is, right in context, what shall be next? I've already seen this world have come divided between race, color, creed, and class. And some of the things the scripture predict truthfully come to pass. Soil that wouldn't bear children, making children to be a part of this growing mass. And I ask, if this is progress, how long will it last?
The glory of love. You want me to sing a verse for you?
Why not?
All right, sing a verse. Within this life, corruption and strife have superseded righteousness and truth. Prophets of doom paint pictures of gloom, pronouncing man an absolute brute, yeah. But as I go my way, I see things every day that give me hope and courage to say, though it is cold out in the world, there is still some goodness. There is still some goodness to behold. When I see the average man taking time to understand and console the retarded and the old, I know there is still some loving. There is still some goodness to behold. When I see the glory of father's pride and mother's love, and witness a genuine romance unfold, I know there is still some loving. There is still some goodness in this world.
I want to ask King Austin to sing a verse in progress for me, please.
And I'm sure he will oblige.
Yeah, I will do that. I love to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I'll sing a verse maybe you never hear before. This is a special verse. This is the last verse. Call it a stage verse. I see craziness increase, bogus priests and corrupt police. No peace, the struggle don't cease. As man turn to drugs, yeah, searching for relief. I see a frightened humanity, a sad and confused society, and it saddens me. How shall it be in time to come? Can this world withstand this constant misuse and abuse by the hands of man, as they try to shape this world in a way to fit in with all their plans? Then I say time is running out, as we eat and drink species at the brink of being extinct. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high.
Finger on the button, and Lord knows what will happen. Is the whole universe they threaten? Maybe they don't remember the bomb in Hiroshima. In history, it's the worst disaster that